Welcome to the most messiest patio in the world. Okay, so I container garden. Now, I'm not an expert on gardening, so don't take this video to be like, all the information that you think you need to know. Because trust me, I get it wrong, and I get it wrong often. But I've had a few good crops year after year. I grow roses, so I might not be that bad. So my issue is, since I container garden, I actually spend at least $200 to $400 a year on bagged soils to replenish my pots. And that's getting way too expensive, and I don't want to do that anymore. So what I'm doing for the first time ever is I'm reusing the soil from the previous year. Now, I already started this one. This was a pot that had the soil remaining in it from last year. It had vegetables in there. And what you don't want to do is, if your soil, you really need to look over your old soil. Make sure it doesn't smell really bad. If it smells moldy, if you see mold spores or fungus or any kind of pests in there like slugs, or it just like doesn't feel right to you, you know what I mean? Dump it out and just don't use it, because it will actually disease your plant. It could kill your plant with pathogens, bacterias, viruses, and God only knows what else. But what I'm doing today is I'm trying an experiment. I already started it. So what I did was I took a comb and I raked through all the bad stuff, dumped it into this bucket here. And now I dumped in some good stuff into the soil. Now, what I would have rather have done is dump this whole entire pot of soil out on top of a tarp and just like really hose the snot out of it, cleaned it out really good, and then mixed up all the ingredients so it goes throughout the whole entire lot of soil. I'm too lazy to do that. I might be paying for this later on, but I recommend you dumping the whole thing out and mixing all the ingredients in there, cleaning out any debris and roots and stuff in the bottom, and doing it that way. So here's what I threw in. Whatever I had laying around in my shed. I had this stuff, which is 100% natural organic fertilizer. It's called Tank's Green Stuff. I threw in one of these scoopfuls in there. I threw in about a quarter of a scoopful to a half of a scoopful of vermiculite. I threw in 2 heaping spoonfuls of perlite. Now, I don't know if I have this down pat with the exact amount that you're supposed to use. I threw in a quarter of a bit of bone meal, not very much. I ran out of blood meal, and I wanted to mix both of them. If you have both, it's better to use both. I threw in some, this is the best stuff ever, and this is worm castings. Worm castings is 100% worm poo, basically, and it is the best known fertilizer on earth. Look how beautiful this stuff is. This greens up every single thing I grow every year, and it makes my stuff grow like it's on steroids. Then I use this stuff. I threw in some regular potting mix, not potting soil, mix. You need a lighter and fluffier type of soil for pots. Otherwise, it'll get too heavy and your plants won't grow. There'll be no oxygen in there. They'll get compacted in the pot. So the lighter and fluffier the soil, the better. And actually, I had some leftover soil from last year, also this brand, Black Gold, which I like way better than Miracle Grow. I don't recommend any Miracle Grow products. It's sort of like the ghetto soil. So out of all the soils you would buy, this and Stay Green and the big box store brands that, is their in-house brand, that's ghetto soil. You don't want to use that as much as possible. It is worth it to spend an extra $1 or $2 on better soil. So, all right, so I'm going to mix this all together and start planting, and I'll show you how it's going. By the way, here is my basil I just planted, and look how nice and healthy that soil looks. So before I plant something, I just wanted to show you the type of consistency you're looking for container plants. So this is done. This is all mixed up. And so when you grab a handful and you squeeze it, you want to see it fall apart. That's good container soil. And the reasoning is because if you had soil that balled up into like a hard rock and didn't break up like this, what would happen is when you put your plant in here, it would compact the roots, and the plant wouldn't really be able to extend out, like the roots grow and fan out in this pot. It would compact it. When it really rains hard, this whole thing would turn into pretty much a container full of cement. So this is the right consistency that you want. Isn't that beautiful looking? Look at that. So now I'm going to show you some of my other containers that I have to work on right now. And this is a lot of hard work. Now, it would be much easier and much less stressful for me right now to be able to dump all these pots out and just put brand new soil in here. Now, if I was going to even do that, though, I would have to sterilize all these pots. I would have to like put some bleach in there, let it soak a little, and hose it out to like sanitize these pots. But again, I'm being lazy. So this is how bad the soil is from last year. We got leaves in here. We got sticks. We got weeds. We got like all sorts of things going on in here. So what I'm going to have to do is get, I use, believe it or not, a fine tooth comb. And I just comb through this, get it out, grab handfuls of it and dump it in a bucket and get rid of it. So yeah, look how gnarly that is. Now I really am not too happy about reusing this stuff. It really looks lousy. But what are you going to do? There's flies everywhere. That makes me nervous also. But it could be because I have good organic matter in these pots that's attracting them. Because I do use manure and stuff in my soils. So yeah, so I got a lot of work cut out for me. Stay tuned and I'll show you what's going on. Just planted my heirloom provider beans. And look how good they look. All right, so I put 2 in one pot. So I don't know if you can see that. Now, what I found was a little surprise, guys. And it's a little worm. You see him? That's a good thing. I don't know how these worms survive, but about actually last year, I had bought red wiggler worms from Petco. They sell it for like the lizards and reptiles and stuff. And I bought several hundred of them and I threw them into my pots. And the reasoning being is that worms are really good for your soil. When they defecate and make worm poo, it actually is really good for your plants. Plus, they actually burrow through the soil, they break it up. So if you have compacted soil, it's really, really helpful. And here's Grover checking out everything. Hey Grover, you want to show them your COVID-19 haircut? Hey. Yeah, mommy really messed up with the clippers. All right, so it's a good sign to see the little worm in there. And I'm very happy to see that. So there we go, guys. All right, so I got 20 more to do right now. This is not going to be fun. And I'll keep you updated and let you see them as they grow. I just wanted to show you this. Look at this. I just picked up another pot. These were the Petco red wigglers from last year. And look at them. They're all throughout the pot. Here's another one. This is a really good sign that my worms did something good for this soil. Yup. I'm actually happy with this. Now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to clean out all the debris without hurting my little worm friends. So, hopefully I can do that. Oh, guys, I'm done. I spent hours, and I'm actually not fully done. I have a couple more plants left over, and I'm not doing that today. The hell with it. Okay, so yes, my patio is really, really a mess. And so, here we go. So we got Megavite tomatoes. We got heirloom provider beans. More heirloom provider beans. Can't you tell I love beans? And more over there. Oh boy. We got gold sweet Italian pepper. We got super sweet 100 cherry tomatoes right here. We got some carrots. Yeah, I didn't realize this. I thought this plant grew several carrots. And it turns out that these 2 plants here will only give me about 2 carrots. So yeah, we're not going to be having a big harvest this year. Basil. We have Italian large leaf basil. Then we have our Italian parsley right here. And we have some heirloom tomato Roma tomatoes to grow the sauce in. This one is dwarfed by this gigantic pot. So as you can see here, I really, really, really put in a good day's work. Next time, hopefully I can afford to just dump out all these pots and just put new soil in. Oh, and I forgot to show you here. This is my parsley from, I'm sorry, my Italian oregano from last year. It came back. Look at that. This is one of my roses from last year that I grew from a bare root in this little pot here. And look at that, an explosion of roses, yellow roses. This is called Walking on Sunshine. And so over here, last but not least, we have our another tomato megavite. Yeah, megabite. I never grew these before. We'll see how that goes. All right, guys. I'll see you all soon. So long.